So we need to be aware on the left of what's being dealt every single day to rage bait the MAGA base. And it serves multiple benefits to the Project 2025 administration. Right now, Donald Trump needs to get out from under his direct involvement with Jeffrey Epstein's child sex trafficking. The economy is plummeting, as are the jobs. And violent crimes have been increasing everywhere because when you rage bait, when you make half of the country addicted to the emotion of rage and then you provide the source of that addiction by rage baiting them even more every single day, people crack and they do violent things. So, what is this administration doing to make sure we're not looking at any of that? Well, taking the race war to the next level, protecting white men to the next level. So Donald Trump and other MAGA Republicans are featuring the face of a black man and threatening to send the National Guard into Charlotte, North Carolina, where it happened. They're showing his face because he's black. Otherwise, they would show the faces of the countless white men who murdered people just this past week alone. But they didn't. This is a black man who stabbed a Ukrainian refugee on a bus. It was brutal and it's so incredibly sad. I'm in risk management. My brain is trained to drill down into other underlying causes that could prevent things like this from happening in the future. And the bottom line is, if Donald Trump had not been so hyper-focused on giving Putin a BJ, maybe he could have gotten the dictator to pull out of Ukraine and she would have went back to her native home, back to her family, and she would still be alive today. It's true. It's very true. What about in the 1990s when Republicans shut down every federally funded psychiatric hospital, when everybody knows mental health is serious and treatment is lacking thanks to Republican budget cuts? He could have been getting treatment and she'd still be alive today. His family said he struggled from schizophrenia and homelessness. They had a hard time getting him the help he needed because it's very limited, the help that's available, especially when you're homeless. But had Republicans taken mental health treatment seriously, maybe she'd still be alive today. But what's interesting is he didn't post the picture of the white man who killed his wife and nearly killed his daughter because he believed the election was stolen in 2020. He believed in deep state forces. Yeah, that face wasn't being shown. And he's not threatening to send the National Guard into that part of Michigan where it happened. How about in Florida when the guy just killed his friend for daring to say that Donald Trump is a bad president and ran his other companies into bankruptcy? So his friend, a big MAGA supporter, unalived him in Florida. I don't see this white man's face being plastered anywhere, and I don't see Trump threatening to send the National Guard into Florida. What's really, really, really troubling is now he's starting to normalize the conversation that too many men are in jail for domestic violence, that the sentencing, the penalties are way too severe, essentially protecting men and putting women at so much risk. And I promise you, there are many police officers who have lost their lives or nearly lost their lives chasing down somebody who just unalived their girlfriend or wife and are armed because they turn those guns on the police officers while in pursuit. I promise you, this puts police officers at risk a lot. There's a man in California who just killed his wife, and police had to shoot him dead before he shot them. But I don't see his white face posted on Truth Social. How about in Oklahoma? A man turned his gun on his wife inside the pickup truck at close range because she got a phone call and he assumed it was from her ex-boyfriend. I don't see any MAGA, Charlie Kirk, no one posting that white male face anywhere. I can't begin to tell you how many MAGA conspiracists, homophobes, and racists have unalived or physically harmed members of our LGBTQ community almost every time the crime is perpetrated by MAGA supporters. So now you got him featuring a black man to make black men even more unsafe against the MAGA crowd. You've got LGBTQ already unsafe by the MAGA crowd. And now you have women who apparently Trump does not want to provide protection to when it involves domestic violence, which, by the way, has everything to do with the Christian right believing that men own their women and can beat them if they want, and the women must submit. That's why he's trying to weaken penalties involving domestic violence. So, yeah, lots of distractions from the fact that he was part of Epstein's dirty, dirty game, and people can't find jobs, and companies are going bankrupt, and yeah, so much more.